All right, today we are diving deep into a really fascinating system called Pranic Aromatherapy. It's this whole methodology that claims to be the bridge between the hard science of plant chemistry and the subtle physics of our own energy, what it calls prana. So let's map this out. We're going to start with the problem it's trying to solve, then decode your main concept, liquid prana. After that, we'll check out the pillars of the system, the actual tools they use, and finally, the big transformation it all promises. Okay, first up, let's talk about the why. What's the core problem that this system believes most of us have with essential oils?
And the whole thing kicks off with a pretty challenging question, right? It asks you directly, are you actually practicing aromatherapy or are you just, smelling nice things? It really forces you to think about whether you're just scratching the surface of what's possible.
This is where they draw a really clear line in the sand. On one side, there's the common belief. Oils make things smell good. Simple. But on the other side, the pranic belief, well, it's a total reframe. They see essential oils as literal software designed to program your body's energetic hardware. That's a pretty massive leap.
Now, here's where it gets really interesting. This lack of deeper knowledge isn't just framed as a missed opportunity. No, they call it a safety blind spot. The idea is that using these potent substances without fully understanding them isn't just ineffective, it could actually be harmful. So, if the problem is that we're flying blind, what's the solution? Well, this brings us right to the heart of the system, this core concept they call liquid prana.
They call this the missing link. The whole argument is that essential oils are way more than just smells. They're concentrated, biologically active agents. The chemical compounds inside are the physical vehicles, kind of like delivery trucks, that carry and install the energetic instructions, the prana. And to really get their approach, you have to understand this term they use, systematic mysticism. Sounds like a contradiction, right? But the whole idea is to take the guesswork out of energy work. It's about blending the hard chemistry you can measure with subtle energy to get results you can actually count on every single time. So according to this framework, it's not some vague magic that makes lavender calming. They point directly to the molecules inside, like linalool, and say that is the architect of the calming effect. Same for the purging effect of oregano. That's thanks to a molecule called carvacrol. It turns an abstract idea into something very concrete. So how do they organize all this information? The system is laid out as a clear blueprint built on what they call the pillars of mastery. And the very first pillar, the absolute foundation, is safety. Their principle is you cannot heal if you are harming. Makes sense. So before you get into any advanced stuff, you have to master how the body actually processes these oils and, crucially, know the red lists of which ones to avoid and when.
Now, once that safety foundation is locked in, the other pillars get into some really wild territory. We're talking about mapping your aura, practicing energetic hygiene with a so-called psychic vacuum to clear out negativity, and even building an armored aura using warrior oils for psychic self-defense. It even gets into mastering specific frequencies for love and relationships.
But there's a huge catch they identify, and it's a crisis of quality. According to them, a staggering 75%, that's 3 out of every 4 bottles on the shelf, might be fake or adulterated. And if that's true, you can pretty much forget about getting any kind of predictable results. So, to make this system work, you absolutely have to know your oils are the real deal. That's why they propose this incredibly strict 3-part standard. It covers everything from where the plant was grown to using lab equipment for forensic analysis to guarantee that what's in that bottle is pure and potent enough to do the job. Okay, so we've talked a lot of theory. Let's get practical. How do you actually take these big ideas and turn them into rituals you can use every day? A core principle here is what they call the great extraction. And I love this quote. It's like painting over rust if you don't. You can't just slap positive energy on top of negative gunk. You've got to clean the slate first. And here is a perfect, tangible example. They take an everyday routine, a shower, and turn it into this powerful, energetic decontamination ritual. You combine sea salt with specific oils like tea tree and lavender, and as you scrub, you're physically and energetically cleansing yourself, picturing all that gray sludge just washing away. And for more specific needs, there are other formulas. Take the Psychic Shield Scrub. This is designed for those times when you feel totally drained by crowds or other people's vibes. It uses ingredients like juniper berry and yarrow to basically build a protective, energetic barrier around you. So, after all of this, the theory, the pillars, the rituals, where does it all lead? What's the ultimate endgame here?
And it all boils down to these two words: energetic sovereignty. The whole goal is to go from being a passive victim of your energetic environment, like a boat tossed on the waves, to becoming the conscious architect of your own inner state. You get to choose your own frequency.
This slide really just sums up the whole paradigm shift they're trying to create. It's a move away from what they'd call New Age fluff, where you're kind of just guessing and hoping for the best, and moving towards systematic mysticism, where you're using real chemistry to get real, reproducible results.
Ultimately, the promise is about a fundamental shift in your identity. You're no longer just a person who uses oils. You become a pranic aromatherapist, an architect who can literally design and build your own energetic reality from the ground up.
And all of that leaves us with one big question to think about. Is this blend of hard science and energy work a true evolution, maybe the future of wellness? Or is it a highly sophisticated, modern language for spiritual practices that are, at their core, absolutely timeless?